Hello friends, poison isn't always something you eat or drink. It can be an emotion, and hate is one of these emotions that eat you up on the inside and cause destruction around you. Hate is a strong emotion. You might say it isn't an emotion at all, but a toxic venom that once sets its hooks in you becomes high impossible to purify and will poison not only your life but will seep into your relationships with your family, friends, colleagues and acquaintances. Today in this video, let us look at some of the ill effects of hatred. Before we move ahead, please subscribe to the Upfront and press the bell icon to get notification of all our updates. I'm Nihal Mohammed and you're watching the Upfront. Anyone who has found themselves wrapped up in the arms of hate knows how damaging and mind-consuming it can become. Words carry power, and hateful words from a person you love dig into you like razor-sharp knives, while hate can be directed at almost anything: animals, foods, jobs, movies. The most destructive is hatred towards other people. If you think you are beginning to get trapped in the clutches of hate, then ask yourself these two questions. Does hate have a place in my life? Do I harbor any feelings of hatred towards myself or anyone else? If you do, I implore you to address this negative feeling before it becomes something much more dangerous. Hate, when left unchecked, will drain your spirit, tarnish your soul and darken your days. Holding on to hate is like letting someone live rent-free in your mind. Hatred is a feeling that we all have felt and experienced at some point in our lives, especially when we have been betrayed or hurt by someone that we are attached to. Hateful feelings are normal when they occur sporadically. However, the effects of feeling hatred over a long period of time can have devastating effects on your mind and body. Feelings of rage and hatred build up in the mind, body and soul, affecting the body's organs and natural processes and breeding further negative emotions. Hatred is a form of neurosis, fixation and judgment that is harmful to you. If continued, it leads to conflicts in relationships and to bodily disease. Research shows that hatred changes the chemistry in the brain as it stimulates the premotor cortex, which is responsible for planning and execution of motion. This prepares us to act aggressively when feeling hateful, either to defend or as an attack. This activation also triggers the autonomic nervous system, creating fight or flight responses, increasing cortisol and adrenaline. Both these hormones deplete the adrenals and contribute to weight gain, insomnia, anxiety, depression and chronic illness, and so the cycle of bodily and mental disease continues. Hatred also triggers the mind to try to predict what the actions of the person being hated may do as a way to protect you, but this leads to further anxiety, restlessness, obsessive thinking and paranoia, which also then impacts negatively in the way you engage in relationships. It's important to note that all these reactions affect only the hater and not the hated, breaking down your nervous, immune and endocrine system and your mental well-being. The opposite of hatred is not love. It is mental and emotional detachment. Hatred attaches you to the thing or person you hate. Hatred is an intense repulsion that creates a mirror effect in that it attracts the person back to the thing hated in order to be repulsed by it over and over. Hatred is bittersweet as it inflates the ego and makes you feel very superior and self-righteous against the thing or one that is hated, only breeding further pain. Why do people hate? Hate is part of the range of human emotions. Some researchers believe all people have the capacity to hate, while others believe true hatred is uncommon. What does seem clear is that hatred tends to emerge as a learned emotion that flourishes in the absence of compassion. Feelings of hatred or intense emotional dislike develop for many reasons. People might begin to hate another person or group when they feel envy or want what the other person has. They may consider it unfair that someone has what they lack, have contempt for another person or believe them to be inferior, learn hatred from parents, their community or other social groups, are humiliated or mistreated by another person. People also hate when they feel powerless. Rather than turning their anxiety and shame inward, they may project that negativity onto an external target. In some cases, people who experience bullying or abuse may grow to hate the person who harmed them. In other cases, a target is hated more for what they represent than for specific actions they have taken. Individuals may believe the target of their hatred has harmful intentions towards them and would hurt them if they could. However, the target may not necessarily have hostile intentions, or the hatred may be disproportionate to the injury. For example, a student may hate a teacher who failed them in a class. The teacher may not have any hostility for the student and could simply be doing their job. However, the student may use the teacher as a stand-in for their frustration with academia as a whole. This hatred may prompt the student to try and harm the teacher, perhaps by spreading false rumors or sending a vicious email. Studies on hatred suggest it tends to persist by hate and express their feelings through violent acts. Feelings of hatred that develop towards a certain individual may eventually be redirected towards the entire group that a person belongs to. This can lead to dehumanization of individuals or groups. Dehumanization is the act of seeing a person as inferior, uncivilized, or less than a human. Dehumanization research suggests that when people see others as less than human, empathy centers in the brain deactivate. For example, people who commit mass violence, cruelty, or hate crimes often rationalize these actions by comparing the victims to animals. Individuals who would typically balk at murdering another person may find it easier to kill a subhuman enemy. Internalized hatred can cause significant harm. In some cases, internalized self-hatred results from experiencing prejudices like racism, sexism, ableism, homophobia, etc. Negative beliefs become a part of your internal experience, leading you to judge and criticize yourself according to the stereotypes society assigns you. Self-hatred can also result from mistakes you have made. If you have hurt a loved one and lost a close relationship as a result, you may feel painful regret. You may also come to develop hatred towards yourself. Many people judge themselves harshly, especially when feeling guilty for something that they have done. If forgiveness from your loved one is impossible, or if you are afraid to seek it, your feelings may intensify. Self-hatred can contribute to depression. It could also factor into self-harm or other attempts to punish the self. Remember that people make mistakes. Someone you have hurt won't always be able to forgive you. However, if you regret the action, consider how to learn and grow from what happened so that you don't hurt anyone else. Just as compassion is the key to overcoming hatred, self-compassion can help heal self-hatred. Developing self-compassion isn't always easy. A compassionate counselor can help without judging you for any mistakes you may have made in the past. Therapy can help you find support and healing for all types of hatred. The negative health consequences for victims are numerous, with much of the literature focused on the victimization of people on the basis of race, sexual orientation, and gender minority status. Experiences of hate are associated with poor emotional well-being, such as feelings of anger, shame, and fear. Moreover, victims tend to experience poor mental health, including extreme levels of depression, stress, anxiety, and more prone to suicidal behavior. Medically, impacts include poor overall physical health, physical injury, difficulty accessing medical care. Victimization is also associated with poor health behaviors such as alcohol or drug use and unhealthy coping strategies such as emotion suppression. The experience of hate-motivated behavior can result in lower empathy towards fellow victims. Coping with hatred can be difficult, especially when there is no apparent cause for the hatred. You may wonder how someone can have such deep negative feelings towards you. Believing someone hates you can affect your mood, mental health, and self-esteem. If someone hates you because they feel wronged by you, it's possible you want to reach out to them. You may wish to discuss their feelings, apologize, or make the situation clear. This could help when someone is merely angry with you. But when it comes to hatred, it may be difficult to have a calm, rational discussion with the other person. Taking a trusted friend or loved one with you can help. Getting advice from someone unbiased can also help put the situation in perspective. Depending on the circumstances, it may be best not to engage the other person. When you have been threatened, or even if you just feel unsafe, you may want to seek advice from law enforcement. If you are working with a therapist, it may help to start by talking through the situation openly in a therapy session. Your therapist can help you explore helpful solutions and offer support. Hate is an emotion that affects not only your mind but also your body, and it keeps drawing your attention to things that destabilize your mind and wreak havoc in your life by poisoning your relationships and leaving you lonely and miserable. If you want to deal with it, it's best to talk to someone you trust, as talking to a close friend, family member, or a psychologist about something painful can help to alleviate the negative feelings you are having. They can often offer valuable advice or guidance before you let someone live rent free in your head and heart. Remember, only you will be paying the painful price. That's it for today. If you like the content we provide, please subscribe to the Upfront and press the bell icon to get notification of all our updates. Please share our videos and educate others. Thank you.